Hey, a lion wouldn't drive fucked up, but a tiger would. Whoa, welcome to the Best Friend Weekend podcast, man. It's your boy Aldo Nice.
And I'm just sitting in again. I'm the homie Raj Smooth. Not a part of this thing full time, just part time apparently.
I mean, one day you could get like your whole, you could be a full-time employee, but right now I can't really hire you more than 20 hours a week for the Best Friend Weekend podcast.
I can still get Obamacare though. I
mean, that's about to go. Y'all man's about to take Obamacare away. So that's all I'm saying. Hey, I heard they said they told me this week they was like, hey man, y'all dropped the podcast already this week. Y'all dropping another one this week? And I was like, yes, of course, because
why not?
I mean things happen, and I want to talk about things.
You do it for the culture.
And we definitely do. We do it for the humor. I guess our genre would be comedy.
That way,
but at the same time, we like to try to be a little insightful, so here and there. So I want to talk about your mans, and I feel like you got a particular affinity towards this human being. So I just like that's why I want to start. I want to talk with Tiger Woods. You remind me of like a little young Tiger Woods type individual, even though you might not see it. Other people, I mean, I've seen pictures of you on IG with like swinging a golf club, talking about Roger Woods. Okay?
That's never been posted on my. I never said anything.
Of course,
I might have put Tiger Woods. I've never put Roger Woods, and I don't have any affinity towards Tiger. Everybody has an affinity or had an affinity toward Tiger Woods.
So everybody did.
Everybody's favorite golfer was Tiger Woods. Why wouldn't? It's like in basketball, I might like the way a certain player dribbles, or I might like the way a certain player shoots, or I might like the way a certain player dunks. But in golf, there's only one thing that you like. I like the way he gets it in the hole, no homo. So
pause that major.
So there was one guy in our adolescence, late childhood adolescence, that was just dominant. So how couldn't he be your favorite golfer?
I mean, I guess you're right. It wasn't like he had like a Venus and Serena where you could have like one or the other. It was just Tiger. So I mean, I'm not about to sit up here in front.
This
like
podcast
I wasn't a Tiger Wood.
This podcast is brought to you by All Women's Sports.
Yeah, I mean, Venus and Serena Williams are the same person, but they're like the best athlete ever. Well, I mean, I guess Serena's stuck herself out a little bit more to be like that person now, but yeah, but I mean, growing up is, I guess, the point I'm getting. They were like a package deal for a while. I mean, I'm not going to front like I wasn't a huge Tiger Woods fan. But I mean, I feel like the Tiger Woods downfall has been going on so long that it's like not even, it's like almost Michael Jackson-esque. That it's like Tiger's been like not Tiger for like 15 years.
So you think it's Michael Jackson-esque? Because I think if Michael Jackson would have dropped an album in his twilight the day before he died, it would have been a hit. It would have been a classic.
Well, I mean, sports are different. I mean, like, if he could get out there on the links.
But are sports different? Because Kobe scored 62 in his last game or something like that.
Kobe shot 62 shots.
That's fine.
In his last game.
I wish Tiger can shoot 62 shots and win a tournament.
He's not going to shoot 62. He's going to shoot 82.
He can't.
15 over par. He will not be great.
I feel bad for him because he is.
So you feel bad for him, though?
I do feel bad for him in a sense, in this general sense, in that he's reached his golfing twilight. Like he's an older golfer now. Like there's a new age of golf, and
yeah, like Jordan Spit,
and he was who?
Jordan Speak or whatever his name is.
Jordan Speakeasy. So
we don't know the next golfers. Is my point. Rory. Y'all know Rory?
I don't necessarily care. I think Tiger Woods globalized, or not globalized, but just urbanized, if you will, golf. Everybody cared about golf.
That's funny that a non-urban individual would urbanize the sport.
Yeah. A non-claiming to be urban guy. Because he was definitely urban.
Well, you can't just say he was urban because of his action.
Because of his skin color.
That makes him urban?
I mean, not necessarily, but he just appealed to urbans. Like,
okay, yeah. To urbans. We were some urban youths.
Right.
No, I definitely agree. The red shirt on Sundays, the Masters were like we was watching the Masters. Yeah, fist pump. Like, we were watching the Masters and we were watching the PGA Championship and stuff to see Tiger Woods. Like, I haven't watched a golfing tournament since Tiger Woods is not... Like, I haven't. I cannot think of a day. It's like wasted TV on ABC, NBC, whatever it
doesn't matter. I don't even know what channel. I think it comes on the Golf Channel.
Very well might.
I wish, you know how, like, I don't know if you ever seen on your iPhone, like, it'll show you, like, if you go to your battery section, it'll show you how often a certain app has been on your screen or running in the background. If I can look at that on my TV, the Golf Channel has gotten no play on my TV. No play.
Yeah, none. Unless those off times when they're like, oh, Tiger is actually playing, then I might actually try to turn to the Golf Channel and see what he's doing.
No, like that. I mean, but that's a real thing. Since the Golf Channel's been around or in existence, Tiger Woods has been, I guess, for the sake of the conversation, out of existence. So
okay, but I guess I can circle back to what you said. If Tiger Woods, got into the finals of a tournament, and we were like, oh, it's Sunday, and Tiger Woods is in competition, and he's like one stroke ahead, to win like a major tournament, we would watch it like a Michael Jackson album. Like, it would be like we would turn on the TV to see it. I think I would. I know I would.
I love hypothetical arguments. I love what ifs. Yeah. But that has not happened in quite a long time. Matter of fact, that has not. I don't even. I'd like.
But Michael Jackson ain't dropped no stellar album before he died.
He dropped. Okay, let me stop with the Tiger movie. He dropped a movie, and it was called "This Is It," and it was a pretty good movie. It was on like HBO and stuff.
I think they're alike because they both are on heroin, right? Or were. I mean, I think I heard a comedian say this one day. He was like, the least Michael Jackson's doctor could have did was like let him do heroin and not let him die. Like, that man wild for letting him die.
I know it was Gerard Cormack, our favorite
guy.
Did
he say that?
Did he say that? He said, okay, so heroin's bad, but if I have a doctor administering it to me, then I shouldn't die.
Yeah, right? And I mean, I feel like that's the same thing, kind of like Tiger is like, he's on like opium and all kind of other stuff. Molly Percocets, whatever he's on that Future shit, right? And he's out there, like, I don't know, you saw the mugshot, but you heard the police report. You 20 minutes at the stoplight, out of there. Sleep. And they ran on him and was like, where you coming from? A tournament in LA. Where you going? I don't know. And man was like in Florida, like the boy was out his body, full of them jiggers.
Let's be honest. Seriously, this is why I couldn't be a cop. Seriously, would you have arrested Tiger Woods?
I mean, the thing is, they would have are they doing it for their job or are they doing it for the glory, like you said, right? I probably wouldn't have arrested Tiger Woods. That make me a hoe. I mean, that's why I can't be a cop. That's another reason, right?
Yeah, but I don't think that would necessarily make you a hoe. Like, I don't think that would make you like you're already a cop. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying that, I have family members, my father,
basically
my
you're
brother,
saying cops is hoes.
That's basically what you're saying. But what I'm saying is, I would make standard arrests. I'd keep the streets safe.
Would you arrest Tiger Woods?
But would you arrest specifically Tiger Woods if you saw him? If you saw him intoxicated behind the wheel, would you arrest him?
It's different. Like that's I guess that's the big difference. If you see that man like swerving, running into stuff, of course I'm gonna probably arrest him or some kind of way take him in and stop him from killing people. Right. But if he like at the stoplight knocked out, I might get that man a ride home.
Yeah, I'll sweep that. I'll sweep that under the rug, and I'm sleeping on the couch.
I mean, like, I feel that way about a lot of my favorite athletes. Like, man, let them boys go and do what they're doing. Them boys working hard for that check. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. I mean, I've seen a lot of backlash from like the black community. Like, man, don't rock with Tiger now. Don't be talking about some sympathetic towards Tiger now. Tiger ain't want to rock with us for the last 25 years. Now all of a sudden that man down on his last, and y'all gonna give him the OJ treatment, the Bill Cosby treatment. That anytime somebody like was kind of not fair towards the black community, then they get in trouble. It's like all of a sudden we want to put out the olive branch as black people, and like a lot of backlash is like, don't do that. Tiger not alive. I heard a lot of that, man.
Well, I'll tell you this. So I've been thinking about this all week. like saying this because not a lot of people know about it, but I've definitely I've come face to face with a DUI before. I've never gotten a DUI, but I'm pretty smooth. That's why they call me Raj Smooth. So I've talked and no jinx. Let me knock on wood. I've talked my way out of 2 DUIs. Obviously, Tiger couldn't do that, but I definitely got better mouthpiece than Tiger. So pause. So anyway, I don't think a DUI is publicly chastisable. Like, I don't think that should affect how I see Tiger Woods, because I know it's fun to do bad things, in the words of Letarian Milton. So Tiger Woods went out and got incredibly drunk, as you and I do from time to time, and got behind the wheel. So sad to say, as you and I do from time to time, and got caught. And if I got caught every time I did that, then I probably would be a felon.
Well, the thing that people they're snowballing the whole Tiger Woods isms. It's not just the arrest. It's kind of like that's the latest thing. I mean, the divorce thing with the porn stars and his wife beating his car with the thing, like the infidelity, like that all kind of adds up to the picture of who Tiger Woods is, that people hate. Like, as a matter of fact, one of my coworkers was we were talking today. She's a black lady, a little older than us, and she was talking about, I never trusted Tiger. Like, I never thought he was going to do X, Y, Z. And I was like, so you're going to say the same thing when Russell Wilson, like, come back down to earth and he, like, have his mess up moment, like when he fuck it up, like that public opinion? You're going to say, oh, I knew that? No, because every day at work, she always like Russell Wilson this, Russell Wilson that. And I'm like, it's hard to keep that persona up. I mean, unless you really that, like, living it. I mean, I don't know, maybe Tebow was, I don't know. It's not a lot of people that you can kind of put that faith in, that blind faith, to say that like that guy's really living the up to the standards and the ideals and kind of that image that they put out there. And I just think that people, like, they like to watch you go up, they love to watch you come down. I mean, but you know what? Like, I'm very much of the mindset that Tiger ain't never really did nothing for me, so I could really care less about Tiger Woods.
Well, and when you look at it from that perspective, no one in any professional sports,
they can do stuff for the culture, though, Raj. They can do stuff for the culture.
Okay.
I don't think Tiger's really done anything for the culture except for, like, urbanize.
I think
golf.
Tiger Woods, and you said it, but I think Tiger Woods, like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Tiger Woods didn't mean to do what he did for the culture. He didn't try. If all Tiger Woods would have had to do, all he would have had to do was say, I'm doing it for the culture. And then that was it.
Then he did it for the culture.
Then he did it for the culture. But he denied the culture.
He was like, I'm not doing it for y'all.
So I feel like it, hey, if it just so happens to just fall in his lap, then so be it, whatever. He did a lot. He's going to definitely, regardless of what he wants, he's going to be taught in American Black Studies.
But yeah, okay. I mean, because he got what? I mean, I think we gotta give it up for Tiger, though, right? Like, we gotta lift a glass for the Tiger run. I mean, he's made like $1 billion. That's with an F. He's trophy wise, he used to smash
endorsements.
A lot of endorsements. He used to eat like all of the porn stars. Like, they said he was like eating them every week. I mean, I'm assuming he ate them, wouldn't he? I mean, they're like professionals at like sex. So I would assume he like was professionally having sex with them. He wasn't just kind of like missionary. He couldn't. I mean,
I'm pretty sure he stuck his putter in him.
I'm like, but in all kind of angles. Like this, like he was having a run. Yeah, I mean, didn't Mannie Fresh say Tiger Woods, but I won't eat no, cause I don't? Didn't he say that? I think these are all lines. So I think Tiger Woods was definitely eating them for ages. So he had a great run. I mean, I guess I'll lift a glass for Tiger.
I guess the real question in that is, how did Mannie Fresh know
that Tiger Woods was? I feel like Mannie Fresh, like, you got to think about like what was going on in the for the 99 and the 2000. That's when Tiger was hot. And I guess he was denying the culture, but maybe Tiger and Mannie had some of the same females.
Maybe not.
You don't think so?
No.
I don't know. We can't just lump them in and say what Tiger might have done and what Mannie did.
I'm gonna put this conversation to rest because Tiger Woods did not have the same hose that Mannie Fresh had. I'm so sorry to put this conversation to rest, but we could go on and talk about Tiger Woods.
So you saying Mannie Fresh ain't had no white girls?
Mannie Fresh did not have the same white girls that Tiger had.
I need you to elaborate on that. Like, I really need you to elaborate on that. Because
said in a previous podcast, and you know what? You can even find posts like this on the internet. There's different types of people, but just focusing on one certain demographic, there's different types of white girls. So, you know, I think if you're a sinning human being, you think, you know what, it would be fun to smash a porn star. And whenever that reality is like the reality presents itself to you and you can do it for free, you know, like you don't have to find one of those escorts or anything like that like look like a porn star. You can do it for free because they're just as enamored with you as you are with them. In your Tiger Woods, you do stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure that Tiger Woods was also the one smashing like the Dallas Cowboys cheerleader or the Laker girl or the baddest chick in the WNBA, if that even exists. So, you know, that's the type of women that Tiger Woods gets. Now, the type of women that maybe Mannie Fresh or the type of white women that Mannie Fresh might attract or date or smash, they're a little bit more rough around the edge. We talked about white girls that notoriously, okay? Because I've met a few white girls that prefer to date black guys.
Okay, so now I want to know your expertise level. I don't want to ask you too much of a personal question, but when I broached this subject, and this came up at work today, this is funny, these things come up. A girl asked me at work, she said, what is the ratio of black girls to other race girls that I've talked to, dealt with in any kind of level in my life? And I sat back and thought about it, and I was like, And I'm going to ask you the same question.
Okay.
And I was like, I think I'm at right around 3-1. Like 3 black girls for every one other ethnicity that I've ever like dated, talked to, whatever in life. And she was like, I feel like in her mind it would have been closer to like 1-1 because she was like, I'm a very kind of get along with everybody type guy. And but I had to hit her with some little logic right quick. I was like, I went to HBCU for 4 years, and it was like, you don't talk to white girls when you go to a black college. It's just not a thing. It's not the opportunity is not really there. It's taboo, but it's not. It's like they're not even really there that often. But like, you know, kind of maybe some of my first experiences dating white girls were like and I don't want to use a specific now, but very wholesome into watching Friends. Man, I'm being stereotypical, but like just very, not even wholesome isn't the right word, just into white things, into things that most white people are into. And then I kind of got it and met that other category that you're talking about. Those white girls who are only into like black things.
No, but like only. Notoriously.
Yeah.
Like the notorious, I don't know, we'll have to come up with something funny. But yes, those white girls.
Stop before you talk about them. What's your ratio of girls? And you can pick the most dominant demographic versus others that you've dated.
And this sucks to say, you know, every single podcast I say, I hope I don't lose my black card. And I hope I don't lose my black card here, but it's probably a good 7 to 8 to 1 in favor of white girls. They're just so aplenty, you know, they're like bunnies. And that's why they call them that, you know, like they're just like bunnies.
They're like bunnies. So okay. Aplenty. I mean, I think that's a good little place to give a frame of reference from your opinion on it and versus mine. I mean, I got strong feelings on this. I mean, I kind of think that, man, You see, okay, what's the podcast say? This podcast is brought to you by alienating people and losing friends. And these things happen. So sometimes, I mean, I'm not talking to anybody in particular, but sometimes I see you hop up with your buddy on social media or in real life, and I'm underwhelmed sometimes with some of the homeboys. I kind of feel like they look at every white girl and they automatically put like 1.5 more points to what they actually are. Like if this black girl is a 6 and this white girl is a 6, you look at this white girl like she's a 7.5. And you look at that black girl like she's a 6. And I just think that, like, come on, man. Come on, man. Like, you don't, like, come on, man. I mean, I don't know.
Let me just tell you from someone that has some experience in the matter.
I'm listening.
At times, I can probably say that I've been maybe a little guilty of that. But on the flip side, if I have a white girl, and I'm being serious, if I have a white girl that's a 10 and a black girl that's a 10, then I'm giving 1.5 to that black girl.
Really?
That's a 10. Yes. Like I think the prettiest woman in the world, if I had to sit down and scope across the prettiest woman in the world, I would end up with a girl that is more black than she is white.
Okay. Look at him. He coming home. It only took us like 5 or 6 podcasts to get that boy headed on the road back to Nubia. My Nubian king.
I try to stay in the middle, man. We're
going to have you back in Zamunda in no time.
Zamunda. I'll be forced to thrash you.
Okay, so question. These white girl categories. So you like, it's a regular white girl who likes white girl things, and then it's the white girl with the tattoo on her neck who like black things. That's the one who Mannie Fresh was with, and Tiger Woods is with the white girl.
Tiger Woods definitely never looked at those girls. Those girls are reserved for the Mannie Fresh category, and not necessarily Mannie Fresh. Because Mannie Fresh might have got some bad ones. Man, get the hell out of here.
You ain't never talked to the white girl with the tattoo on her neck?
Not seriously. Not seriously. I've had some come at me, and I'll say, whatever. Conversations for everybody. But to be honest, they never had a chance. No matter who I end up with, because I like to say I don't discriminate. No matter who I end up with, she's gonna have to be at least 7, maybe 6 out of 10 as on the wholesomeness scale.
Yeah.
I can't have you.
She could be a wholesome white girl who just really all in all things black and listen to hip hop and feels like she's blacker than she's part of the black community.
And a friend of mine hit me up today and told me that she really, really loved the podcast and made me feel really, really, really good inside. The white girl. Love her to death. And she's married now. But when she wasn't married...
To a black guy?
To a white guy. But when she wasn't married, 10 years ago, very wholesome girl, went to Catholic school, like just into white things, probably watched Friends, all of that stuff.
Into white things.
Into stereotypically white things. I saw out of the corner of my eye her word for word singing a Gucci Mane song. And I thought that it was the sexiest thing that I've ever heard in my life.
Really? That's sexy to you? Yeah. She was quoting all of the niggas that he was saying in the song?
I don't think she said the N-bombs. I don't know what song it was, because it wasn't like she was singing like Lemonade. She was singing like Number 12.
Oh, just a random song.
Like just a random song.
Like I'll be listening to this.
CD. Yeah, like I'm on Gucci. Like I've been on Gucci.
What?
And I'm just like, I thought that was sexy.
Well, that's a good thing, man. I guess I get it. So you're basically saying it doesn't have to be all of one thing, but I mean, I specifically really like how you were kind of breaking it down into 2 categories there. What I was thinking when you were saying it though was like white boys who only date black girls, because it's a lot of those, and black girls, like, which is funny Cause it's like black girls love that. Like when it's like one white dude in the club, like and he's over there being like suave. But they all like that.
But you're saying that. But black dudes love that one white girl. That's
the point. But because it's taboo.
You know why?
Black dude can't really go run on her because they're gonna be looking at you like, come on, son, come on. Nah, that's the face you're gonna give me. That's the face you're gonna give me.
Let me tell you, it's taboo until you drink enough. And you don't give a fuck about them hoes. Straight up. That's really how it is, you know.
This podcast is brought to you by liquor. So, yes, sir. And you just made that face like you reminiscing on an evening and
on a time when I probably they was looking at me like I was doing wrong.
Well, but I can't bring them home. I can't bring them home if they can't use my comb, man. Like it's a real thing. I don't know I don't know how much a real thing this is, but I told you my grandmother's still living, man. I love black women.
Can't bring
black
them
women
home.
Are beautiful.
Dog, I've walked into some of my white friends' houses, and it's so funny.
Black teachers are even more beautiful.
But let me tell you this: how black culture is starting to like literally like immerse itself everywhere. Like I've seen some white girls and even white guys with like the wave brush. Like not the brush with the little bead on the end of it, not like the white person brush, the one that we can never use.
Oh, yeah, I got what you're saying.
You know, the one with the toothpick with the bead on the end, not that.
Yeah,
one.
I mean,
the wave
maybe
brush.
You can't use those. I got good shit. I got good shit.
I mean, you have hair. You have. If I had hair, I can use those too. But I have a short haircut, so it would do nothing to my hair. So yeah, I've seen those brushes. So you say if she can't use my comb, then she can't come home or something like that. They can use your comb. Anybody can use your comb. We have a very, very, very untexturally
biased hair
comb.
This podcast is brought to you by Madam C.J. Walker. If it wasn't for me, Madam C, there'd be no just for me. Straight up. So my question is, why do white girls who only like black things why don't they date white boys who only like black things as well? They both like black things.
It's an anomaly.
You know what?
An anomaly.
No, you know what? I get it. It's like why don't you date like the girl who like? Yeah, I don't know.
Let me give you a bit of perspective. Let me give you a bit of perspective here. It's funny because if I've been around a group of white guys. You know, I have a lot of white friends. I was actually telling a friend of mine today. It's funny how many people I talk to today, huh? I was telling a friend of mine
today.
You
got a lot of white friends today.
Anyway, I was telling a friend of mine today that I have a lot of white friends, but my closest friends are black.
Okay.
And it even sparked up a whole. She was like, whatever, and I said, well, let me give you my MySpace top 8. So I gave him my top 8, and my first white guy came in at like a tie for 4.
Okay.
Like 4th. So, and of course that's, who that
podcast is brought to you by Chase Trafficker.
So, anyway.
Yeah.
Hold on. You can edit this out if you need.
No, I'm not going to edit this out. You've drawn a brain freeze in the middle of trying to discuss why you have white friends. I think you was talking to somebody.
Okay, all right. So here's where I was going with it. So I've been in a group of where I'm the only black guy in a group of white guys.
Yeah.
And I've been, let's say at a party or so, or maybe like a little small get together where it's us and it's a group of white girls with one black girl.
Okay.
And the preconceived notion
is that you gonna holler at the black girl?
She's for me.
Ha, that's funny. That's funny from her perspective. Why you think I'm out here with these white girls? Like old girl on Dear White People, Coco, when she was out with the white girls. You think I'm out here trying to get a brother? No, I'm out here with y'all with these white girls at this little thing trying to get me a white dude. Like I that makes sense. That's an interest. And you put it in perspective for me right there. And I appreciate it. That makes sense.
You're welcome.
So the one white, so if it's like we going out with us and then the one white dude is with us and then we meet a group of black girls and it's one white girl with him. She don't want him and he don't want her.
Yeah. Exactly. And then what usually would happen, I'll be honest, just being in South Louisiana, is
Don't say nothing too wild. Please don't say nothing too wild.
Very wild. Very wild. Do it for the culture that way. So, what would happen is I would choose one of them. This might be borderline racist, but I don't think it's racist, but I can see how somebody can see it as racist. But I can tell you, I can confirm that every 100% of white guys want to sleep with a black girl.
Well, I've heard white boys say things of that nature, like I want to hit me something real ghetto and black and.
Well, I don't know. I didn't take it that far, but just a black girl.
I've heard it.
So, well, anyway,
it's a bucket list thing, huh?
In this, yeah, bucket list thing is perfect. In this scenario that I gave you, because white guys don't often find themselves, or the type of white guys that I'm friends with, they didn't often find themselves in a setting where
you're not friends with the type of white guys who like all things black.
No, I have more Tiger Woods white friends. So anyway, they wouldn't find themselves in a situation where like they can have sex with a black girl. Like it was always just here's a white girl, here's a white girl, here's a white girl, and then that party happened, and there's that one black girl, right?
Yeah.
So. Cool. So the mix and matching happened. So I'll go after a white girl. Not necessarily by choice, but by choice.
By 7-1 choice.
Yeah, I'm going after the white girl. Well, it don't happen because being in South Louisiana, that's not right. Like that don't happen. That's the kind of stuff don't happen. So I go back to my sister. I say, I know my sister gonna hold it down for me.
Ooh, don't fall back.
Nah, she didn't want to be she wanted to be last resort.
She didn't want to be the last option.
No, she because I think sisters deep down, just deep down wanna try it out too.
You think so?
I think so.
It's possible, man. We might have to ask one of them, man, but I don't know. I mean, I don't see why not though. They humans like we humans, so maybe they got those same kind of hey, man. You only
it's
live
so
once
funny that
type
there's
thing.
there really is still like a racial divide in America. I mean, it's not for me to sit here and say that I don't believe in racism would be false, but I choose to ignore racism. Like I don't choose to fight it. Like I just ignore it and like live my life and enjoy my friends that I know aren't racist. But that doesn't mean that there's not. We talked about it. We touched on it a little bit in the last podcast when we talked about the difference in the clubs. You know, like there's really no such thing as like a mixed club. The club's either going to be predominantly white or predominantly black.
That depends on where you go though. I feel like there are mixed clubs in certain places. I've been to LA. I've been to some spots that really felt mixed. I get your point.
So let me give you the thing about LA. Everybody is mixed in LA. So then yeah, it is a mixed club.
No, right. Everybody mixed in Grand Mary, nigga. Everybody not mixed in LA.
Everybody's mixed in LA. Everybody's light skinned with good hair. So it's funny. I was telling some people out here that a person out here. They were asking me about how it was back in Louisiana, and I always my number one go-to story is that there's still two different proms in Jeanerette.
Well, this podcast is brought to you by Lauraville. And in Lauraville, if you're a little black dude, you can have your white girl every day. Like every day of the weekend. Like that's how they high school obviously is set up. It's a little different than New Iberia, I think.
Now tell me more about this Lauraville.
God, you don't know everybody in Lauraville got a white old lady? So, know that. Go look at Lauraville IG pages. Everybody but Brody. This podcast is brought to you by Brody Fugile, state champion in the 100 meter dash in circa 05 or something. Shout out little cousin. Doing it big. Yeah, speaking of no, I'm not editing it out. Speaking of people who are awesome at sports, no, look, let me change this right quick. So I was at a bar last week, and I saw this girl that I went to college with, and she like says, "Hey, Alan, come see." So I go over, and she's using me to kind of like make this guy leave. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I know the guy, and I'm like, I tell her something to the extent like, Yeah, I figured you wouldn't want to talk to dude. And she was like, why? And I was like, because I've played basketball with him before. And he's garbage at basketball, so I figured he must be garbage at like life. And it got me to thinking, I don't know, like I feel like people who aren't good at sports are probably like not good at everything. I don't know. It's a real thing.
Yeah, and let me just tell you, so that actually brings something to mind. So an SAT question, if you will, or maybe it's ACT, but it's a standard IQ test question, and it's like, if a tick is a wick a tick? Okay, so where I'm going with that is, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I'm going to say 98% agree with you that if you're not good at basketball, then you're probably not that good at life if you're black. It's a black thing.
Like you got to be able to hold the ball a certain way.
It's
but like you said, 98% is probably right.
I'm gonna say it's about 98% correct. But that doesn't mean that you cool if you can hoop. Because I know some clowns that can hoop.
I know a lot of clowns who can hoop. I think I could come around to that way of thinking. But I feel like a lot of cats, if they get out there. But I mean, I've seen some cats who can't hoop and they be like all right with the ladies and doing whatever. But it's just kind of like that thought. If I've ever done something athletic with you, or even just hanging out and you're not like clown, I feel like but sports more than anything. I feel like you would be kind of like clown at all other aspects of life.
But you know what else I think? I think we choose to look at life through our perspective, of course, because it's our eyes.
So definitely.
And when there's something that's so firmly entrenched in our lives, like sports, and we meet someone or we run across someone that just really doesn't care about sports as much as we do, you probably don't, I mean, you can't blame them for like not being cool. They're cool in their own right.
I feel like I can't agree. I feel like anytime I meet somebody who don't really like sports, I feel like something's wrong with a dude who don't like sports. Like I honestly feel that way. Something wrong with you if you're a dude and you don't like sports. Something wrong, dog.
That's very insensitive of you.
I know, but shit. Listen, I feel like I'll stand on that soapbox before a lot of different soapboxes that I would stand on and talk about a lot of things, a lot of other controversial stuff. I honestly feel that way. I'm like, dude, if you don't like sports, what you watch? What you watching TV? Politics? What you watching, dog? Come on, son.
I mean, I get where you're coming from because I'm just as passionate about sports as you are. I think it is a little weird. I remember my dad telling me a long time ago, he thought it was wrong that these commentators were, so they showed a view of the Super Bowl. It was Super Bowl Sunday, and then they showed it might have been on like the San Francisco Bay or something. I don't know, but it was near a body of water, and there were some people that were like sailboating during the Super Bowl. And the commentators were like, "Oh my God, what are these guys doing? Do they not know that it's Super Bowl Sunday?"
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of life, you are not obligated to watch the Super Bowl.
You don't have to watch the Super Bowl.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is that's the most watched television event every single year. And if you're a guy and you're one of our friends, you're going to watch the Super Bowl. My brother is not the biggest sports fan in the world, but he will watch the Super Bowl.
You need to know what sport is in season. Like, I need you to not be sitting around with me and being like, I didn't know the Ravens were playing the Steelers today because I'm watching NFL Network and it's a game from November. That bothers me. Like, I'm like, dudes, what are you doing? Like, what do you think? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, like I said, I totally understand it. I would think that it would be weird too, but I would also be interested in knowing what that guy is interested in. I think if you erase sports out of my interest, like out of my life, what would fill that void?
What would replace sports, right? Like, I couldn't play sports either. I couldn't, like, go bowling.
I mean, to me, bowling's not really a sport.
It's
that's like saying poker.
Cheerleading's not a sport.
Poker comes on ESPN. Oh, wow.
This podcast is brought to you by Tammy. Cheerleading is a sport. I got you.
So, ESPN doesn't always broadcast sporting events. Bowling is a competition to me. You know what I mean? But it's not like...
So bowling's a competition? No, bowling they keep score. Bowling's a sport. No play bowling.
Bowling is a competition. Bowling, that's... Okay, so is cornhole a sport?
Hey, I don't want to talk about nasty stuff on this podcast. We were talking about sports.
Is cornhole a sport?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about disgusting things. What's cornhole? That's not some stuff. That wasn't what Tiger Woods was doing with those porn stars?
No. This isn't an Urban Dictionary term. Cornhole is that whenever there's a wooden kind of box.
Oh, I'm nice at that. Me and Jason was playing that at a
Is
day
that a
party.
sport? Is that a sport?
We don't. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah, it's a sport. You're throwing balls in holes. It's basketball without dribbling.
It's a competition. So to me, sports, and what I consider to be sports, are...
I feel like that's some stuff Tiger would tell one of them girls.
I guess the way I'm looking at it, would be like if golf wasn't a sport, but I think golf is a sport. But I don't think bowling is quite a sport. Like I don't consider it to be a sport.
I guess it's an interesting thought. That I don't know. I kind of had that vibe. Like that whole dude. The dude was just corny as hell to me because he wasn't good at hooping. So I felt like when the girl was like, "Save me," I was like, "Yeah, probably. He's probably a cornball. Like he's not good at sports." Maybe you don't even have to be good at sports. Maybe you just have to know about sports. Maybe he knows about sports. Maybe he's like a sports almanac. I don't know. But I just in that moment, I felt like he was lame, and I felt like she was very within her rights to not. Want to do that.
Well, obviously she didn't know that he wasn't good at sports, so that's actually like that's a part of like the scientific where am I going with this
method?
The scientific method. You know what I mean? Like she didn't even know the control of the situation was that you knew, but like she didn't even know that he wasn't good at sports. Like you could literally write a hypothesis and prove it.
I don't mean that man couldn't finish with his left in the lane. I meant that man like couldn't dribble.
I know exactly what you mean, and I'm serious that you could literally prove a hypothesis.
Yeah, I probably could. I probably could get enough
and prove a hypothesis based off of that situation.
I probably could get enough data.
People are lame. Mm-hmm. You think that people are lame that can't play sports, and the dude actually ended up being lame, and he can't play sports.
Yeah,
and the girl thought he was lame without even knowing that he wasn't good at sports.
Yeah.
So that definitely proves your point.
I feel like it's proven now. It's a proven Thank you for bringing me to that realization that boys who really suck at sports are kind of lame. I was actually watching sports. Speaking of sports, I was watching like some baseball highlights the other day, and Bryce Harper. Like, I mean, you probably know more baseball players because you watch sports, but Mike Trout, Bryce Harper. It's like there's baseball players people know. A pitcher, like he took this pitcher deep, like he hit 2 home runs on him in the playoffs a couple years back. This pitcher beans him in the back, hits him hard, like 98 miles an hour. He charges the mound, he throws his helmet at the pitcher. Then they get to hooking. Like your boy Odor last year and Batista, I think it was, smacked him in the face. Like it was like 3 or 4 like slide licks to the jaw.
This podcast is brought to you by Slide Licks.
Slide Licks. So he slide licked him, and then they were talking about it after the game about, you shouldn't throw the ball at people. And then one of them got like a 3-game suspension and one got like a 5-game suspension. And I started thinking, I was like, NBA Finals coming up. I wonder if LeBron stole off on like KD and just punched him in the face. Like KD threw the ball at him and LeBron punched him in the face, and the boys punched each other in the face 3-4 times. I wonder if they would get 3 or 5 game suspensions from the finals, or would they be suspended for 17 to 20 games? Guess what? Let me stop you there. I know the answer to that. Because Carmelo got in a fight some years back, and I remember he got suspended the whole rest of the season, like 17 games or something like that, for a fight. And I'm not even talking about Meta World Peace and them hoes. They were scared of Ron Artest. I mean, they were scared of Ben Wallace. That's why they went in the stands and fought. But they got suspended like 60, 70. I mean, that's fighting fans. It's different. But I'm just saying, fights in basketball, and boys get like damn near a fourth of the season. Fights in baseball, they get 3 games. I don't know. What you think about that?
So I don't know how the powers that be in each respective sport decides what penalty they're gonna give a player. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a rule book, like there's a guideline, a rule, like, you know what I'm saying, like that kind of governs on how they're gonna penalize it, but it's completely inconsistent across the board.
Across sports.
Across the spectrum of sports, because in basketball there's 82 games, so basketball there's 82 games, football there's 16 games, baseball there's 162 games, so like in the grand scheme of things, 82 games, what's 5 games gonna hurt? So I gotta make it a real penalty, so 17 games.
Baseball 162, and they suspended the pitcher for 5 games. He only plays every 5 games. In football, in my honest opinion, by the way, shout out Odell Beckham for signing the largest shoe endorsement deal in NFL history. This podcast is brought to you by my favorite person in the NFL, Odell Beckham.
So, anyway, no homo. So, in my honest opinion, Odell Beckham should have been suspended for the rest of the year after what he did
with Josh Norman.
With Josh Norman that year. The rest of the year, he was out of control. I don't think Odell should have been suspended the rest of the game. But I think that seeing how other people are penalized in other sports, Odell should have been suspended the rest of the year.
Really?
Now, that brings me to what we talked about earlier. If you get in a fight, in hockey, they not only do they let you fight, they give you time to fight. Like they
let y'all boys
stand there and watch you fight. They let y'all hook. Like it's in a club. I know you've been a part of a scuffle where it's like let them hook. Like, no, I'm gonna stop them. No, let them hook. In hockey, the referees say no, let them hook, and the rest of the players, nobody jumps in, and
they just skate around. They just skate around in little circles.
Around, and they hold each other by the jersey. They take off their helmets, take off their gloves, hold each other with one hand by the jersey, and then it's a one fist punch until
somebody
the best
go
man
down
wins, and then they get a 2-minute.
And the boys get suspended for how many games?
For 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Same game. Come back. Like nothing happened.
I don't have any paperwork to support this, but let me just guess. Can I guess? Can I throw some numbers out there? Hypotheticals. Subban, that's my dude. I know who Subban is, because he's like the only black person in the NHL, and he like plays for like Nashville or whatever. They in the Stanley. Did you even know the Stanley Cup like finals was happening right now? But anyway, that's happening.
Pittsburgh versus Nashville.
Yeah, and Nashville's got Subban. So I would say that he's like one of probably 5 black people in the NHL, and they get 2 minutes for fighting. I would think that baseball, African Americans, black Americans, not Latin American, dark skinned people, I would think we probably make up, 5% of the major leagues, if that much. Football, we would probably make up 60+%. Basketball, let's say we make up 80%. So the more black a sport is, the more they don't want you to fight because they don't want us looking like niggas out there and apes, and the product looks worse. But white boys, they could fight and it's okay. That's kind of my theory. I don't know what you think.
You'll never get me to turn an argument, or if you will, a conversation into a race argument.
It is. I feel like it is. The product is
at one point in time, all of those sports were white.
The boys wasn't fighting then, huh?
I mean, I don't know what they was doing because I wasn't there. I wasn't there. Throw up your dukes. I wasn't there, so I don't know what they were doing, and I don't know the penalties. And maybe it is a underlying thing, but I choose not to go that route.
And man, I always look at things like they was talking about before. They didn't think our last podcast was all that funny. Hey man, I'm always living in that black and white spectrum. I always see things for how they could be and how they may or may not be. I try to, I try to figure these things out, and that's one of those things that definitely feels like it has a racial component to it, that Bryce Harper can go punch the pitcher. Now, I'm not saying, and I'm not even saying it's like a racial on an individual basis, because I feel like if Andrew McCutchen charged him out and punched the pitcher in the face, I feel like he would still get 3 games. It's not like a black-white thing amongst Bryce Harper is white and like Andrew McCutchen wouldn't have got the same the penalty. I feel like they would have got equal penalties. But I just feel like the sport as a whole kind of has more of a feel of it's whiter, so they can kind of get away with doing some of these things. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong about certain things.
Well, I never said that you were wrong. I just said I choose not to look at it in that same light. Hey, follow us on all of our social media. Everything literally is at Best Friend Weekend. You were lucky enough to get that. I don't know how that was available. But that'll wrap everything up. Until next time, guys.